Imagine two children. One can recite the alphabet before turning 3. They know their numbers. They impress adults. The other child can't. But this child can focus. They recover quickly from frustration. They stay curious when something feels hard. Now here's the uncomfortable question. Which child will actually learn better in the long run? Most parents are told that intelligence comes from early academics, ABCs, 123s, flashcards, and educational apps. But neuroscience tells a very different story. Smart kids are not built with information. They're built with foundations. And those foundations are formed before age 5, long before academic learning matters. In this video, I'll walk you through 3 brain-building principles that determine how your child learns, regulates emotions, and adapts for life, not just school. A child's brain is not a blank slate waiting to be filled. It's a living, growing system, shaped moment by moment through relationships. Neuroscientists describe this process as serve and return. Here's what that means in real life. Your baby looks at your face. Your toddler points at a dog. Your child makes a sound, a gesture, or an emotional reaction. That's the serve. When you respond, with eye contact, words, tone, or touch, that's the return. Every one of these exchanges strengthens neural connections in the brain. This is how pathways for attention, language, emotional regulation, and social understanding are built. And it doesn't happen during lessons. It happens during feeding, diaper changes, getting dressed, walking outside, quiet moments together. Your presence, not your instruction, is what wires the brain. This is principle number 1. Brains are built through responsive interaction, not information. Now this is where many parents get confused. If interaction builds the brain, then shouldn't educational apps help? After all, they teach letters, numbers, colors, and shapes. But here's the key difference. Screens deliver information. Humans regulate nervous systems. Screens deliver information. Humans regulate nervous systems. An app can't notice when your child is overwhelmed. It can't adjust pacing. It can't respond emotionally. It can't help a child recover from frustration. And without emotional regulation, learning falls apart. This is why some children can memorize facts, but melt down when something feels hard. They have skills, but not the neural stability those skills depend on. Real learning requires a brain that feels safe, flexible, and supported. Only human interaction provides that. This brings us to principle number 2. Children do not learn best when they are being taught. They learn best when they are engaged, curious, and emotionally regulated. And that state happens most naturally through play. But not all play is equal. The most powerful play is child-led, interactive, and emotionally responsive. When adults turn play into a lesson, children often disengage. Instead of, "What color is that? How many blocks do you have?" Try, "You're stacking them so carefully. You're figuring out how that works." This kind of language does something important. It keeps the child in exploration, problem-solving, and emotional balance. You are no longer testing them. You're playing alongside them. This is where learning sticks, because the nervous system stays open. Here's where many well-meaning parents unintentionally create stress. They want to encourage learning, so they praise intelligence.
"You're so smart, you're really good at this."
It sounds positive. But the brain hears something else. It hears, "Being smart is who I am, I can't mess this up." Over time, children praised for intelligence avoid challenges. They fear mistakes. They shut down under pressure. Not because they lack ability, but because their nervous system associates learning with risk. Instead, praise process. "You kept trying. That was hard, and you stayed with it. You figured out a new way." This builds resilience, the true foundation of intelligence. Now we need to talk about stress. Because stress is not always bad. Healthy stress includes small frustrations, new challenges, and discomfort with support. This strengthens the brain. But toxic stress is different. It happens when a child feels overwhelmed, without emotional support. Chronic pressure, emotional disconnection, constant correction. This kind of stress disrupts brain development. Your role as a parent is not to remove all stress. It's to buffer it. Through predictable routines, calm responses, and emotional validation. This teaches the nervous system, I can experience difficulty and still be safe. That belief changes everything. Here's the most important takeaway. You do not need more toys. You do not need earlier academics. You do not need more structured lessons. What you need is responsive interaction, playful connection, and emotional regulation. These are the foundations that allow learning to happen later. Easily, confidently, sustainably. This is how intelligence is built. If this video helped you rethink what it really means to raise a smart child, consider subscribing for more evidence-based guidance on early brain development.